One vintage camera, one expired film. How is it gonna end? We are not compulsive vintage collectors, but we do love vintage. This one is the first vintage camera that we added to our collection since we started traveling together. We bought it a while ago when we were in Vienna. We were just walking around the city center and I saw this amazing vintage camera shop and I couldn't resist. I had to buy one. After a while we spotted this box camera and that was it. It's still our favorite. The Agfa Clack is a box camera produced by Agfa from 1954 to 1965 in Munich, Germany. About 1.65 million were produced, more than all the other Agfa box camera models combined. The first generation released as a black metal body with a texture that resembled reptile leather. The second generation instead is made only in plastic. The first generation has also an integrated yellow filter that you can set if it's very sunny to get more contrast in black and white pictures. We own one of the last models. It's a medium format camera with a simple design. Starting from the front of the camera, there's a built-in viewfinder. It does the job, but it's far from ideal. Then there is a meniscus lens with a fixed focal length of 85 mm. The info is not written on the lens, and online I found also 95 mm sometimes. On the right side of the lens, a lever sets focus and aperture at the same time in a very intuitive way. The three possible settings in our model are focus 1 meter to 3 meters with close-up setting at f11, I guess. Even if looking for info online, I found also f8 sometimes. Then focus 3 meters to infinity at f11 with cloudy sky. Focus 3 meters to infinity at f12.5 with sunny sky. On the left side of the lens, there's the shutter lever with two options. M, which I guess stands for moment, with a shutter speed around 1/30 or maybe less, and B, which stands for bulb. This mode is great for long exposures and night photography. It allows you to keep the shutter open as long as you want and let in as much light as you need. Of course, the name of this box camera comes from the shutter sound. There is also a little hole for triggering the shutter with a cable release without touching the camera. Even if there's an extendable handle on the side, considering the slow shutter speed of the camera, I think it's best to use the camera on a tripod. And it's possible because at the bottom of the camera body there's a tripod mount with a 1/4 thread. On the top of the camera there are two flash contacts and the grey plastic winding knob for the film. On the back there's a red window with a swinging cover. It's the exposure counter. In essence, the Clack is just a box with a lens and a shutter that comes apart in two pieces. The parts slide into each other and are locked together by a large key on the bottom. Auf, open, and Zu, closed. And this is the film you can load the camera with, a 120mm roll. The camera takes 6x9 frames and you can take only 8 pictures instead of 12 or 16 with one roll. As you can see, my film is a Kodak 400 ISO and is expired in March 2018. Long story short, when we were in Vienna, we bought the camera and we bought the correct black and white film for it. We went back home, we took our first shooting test, and I was so excited to see the final result. So the next day, I took the film roll to a photo lab to develop it, and I waited days and I waited days and days and days until I found out they lost everything. Negatives, prints, it was all gone. It was so disappointing. As an apology, they sent me this new black and white 120 film, but it has a lot higher sensitivity. And then life happened. I completely forgot about it until the last time we went back home to Italy. I found the film already expired in some random drawer, and I read online that it could be fun to take pictures with an expired film and see the final result. Why not try and share the experiment with you? Are you ready for the shooting?
I'm always ready.
Let's load the camera. This is your first film. Okay, now this should wind without any problem. Okay, the arrow is good. The next one is the first frame.
Wow, I thought something was not right. It was taking too long.
Ready to shoot. We have jazz tonight.
First picture taken.
Non capisco nemmeno se è storta. We started with the hard things.
It's starting to get dark, so maybe we started a bit too late.
Yeah, maybe it was too late, but we will see. We hope that this bulb will help us out. Oh my god, what the worst decision of this night. There are bats around the canal of Oxford at night. I think we lost a picture. Oh, I was too afraid. Long exposure.
Tried.
After this night, you're a tripod master. Last picture of the night. It's so dark. The only light is this lamp. I hate tripods so much. We did it.
Maybe.
Back home.
Okay. Time to wind the thing completely, take it off, and tomorrow to the lab. ready for the lab.
Okay, after a few researches, it seems that the best way to develop 120mm films in Oxford is to bring them to booths. Why not? I think there is one close to our home in Summertown. Apparently, keeping up to date our website online is something really hard to do. So I went to Summertown and they redirect me to the booths into the city center. So it's another 20 minutes walk and back, and my film is still in my pocket. Mission accomplished. I delivered the film. Yes! Not to Boots though. Boots is for sure cheaper, but with them I would have waited for 2 weeks. 2 weeks for my film to be developed. It's a lot of time. So for the sake of the experiment and for the sake of finishing this video as soon as possible to upload it on YouTube, at the end I went for the second option in my list after all the morning researches online. I took my film to Snappy Snaps, which is a photo lab that you can find in the city center of Oxford. They develop 35mm and 120mm films, so it's perfect. In 1 week, just 1 week, not 2, for £30. It's not the cheapest option. I will have my prints, a digital copy of them, and if the lab finds out that none of the pictures are printable, so if our test last night was a complete mess, we will have a partial refund, so not that bad as a compromise. That's it, the film is gone and we can't wait to see the final result. There are a lot of things that could have gone wrong. I mean, the old camera and the impossible viewfinder. It was a bit too late when we got out. And yeah, the film is expired 3 years ago. What can go wrong? I mean, apart from the final result, it was a fun night, it was a fun experiment. If this time the result is really poor, maybe we will do it again, because sometimes it's nice to do things just for the sake of having fun. So far, I really hope that no one lose anything this time, because I want to see the prints and I want to see how the shooting went at the end. I think that the thrill of shooting with old analogic cameras is all in that, in the waiting for the film to be developed and see at the end the prints. Today is the 2nd of August, so at least by Monday the 9th of August we will see how the experiment went. We finally have the result of our experiment.
It took a bit longer than we were expecting, 15 days. Probably because it's quite unusual nowadays to develop such films.
But we have everything we asked. Prints, a digital copy of them, and the negatives.
And we are pleasantly surprised with the results.
We couldn't resist. We already opened the envelope. Sorry. We declare ourselves guilty.
But now it's time to show you the results of our experiment.
Yes. This is the negative. The Clack is a medium format camera, as I said, so with a 120mm film roll, you can take just 8 frames and not 12.
But we have only 7 pictures. So the first one is Rihanna's fault. It happens.
Testing the camera. Oops.
Then we have myself on a wall just here, outside
In a foggy day.
foggy day.
That wasn't foggy.
Then we have a moving Ariana on the background.
I'm not stable. I really don't know what happened with this developing.
Yeah, that's strange. Who knows?
It's fine.
And then we have one Jericho and I. We were trying to get the cars. This one
It's
more or
my
less the same,
favorite.
but
Yeah.
that's better.
Actually, this one was one of the most difficult that night. I'm really impressed by this one. I'm so surprised. I would have never bet on a result like this. I'm a bit shocked. It's so good.
Last one, which is my favorite.
Yeah, a bit too bright lamp, but
We can cut it with scissors.
this last picture that we took, I'm so impressed.
We will need to try again with a not expired film.
Yeah, and maybe with a 100 ISO film, because the 400 ISO was a bit tricky, but again, the result for me as a first experiment is awesome.
So regardless of the results, which were unexpectedly good, we had a lot of fun doing this experiment. And we hope this video was a lot of fun for you as well.
So if you have an old camera waiting for you, just grab it, go outside and take some pictures and have fun. In the meanwhile, we will see you in the next video.